The book What Were They Thinking? Says most managers fail because they follow common practices that are sometimes flawed to the core. Author Jeffrey Pfeffer challenges managers to throw out conventional wisdom and to think more strategically.
Managers work hard every day. They're always trying to do the right thing, to make their company successful, and to encourage growth and innovation. But in many, many instances, they fall seriously short. Many problems happen because people ignore what I often call feedback effects, the unintended consequences of actions that come back to cause difficulties for companies and their leaders. Let me give you 3 examples. Number 1, when companies get into financial trouble, the first thing they do is try to pick their employees' pockets. They cut wages, they cut benefits, they may even cut the number of employees. But this doesn't work because labor rates are not the same thing as labor costs. By the way, labor costs are not the same thing as total costs, and total costs are not the same thing as profits. Consider the airline industry. Did you know that Southwest Airlines actually pays much more than most of its competitors, but nonetheless is a low-cost carrier? If you pay people less, 2 things happen. First of all, you don't get people who are as qualified or as competent. And secondly, the people you do get aren't going to be motivated to do a great job, because why work hard if they're not making very much money? So at the end of the day, actually trying to save money may wind up costing you money. Number 2, another example of feedback effects is the use of incentive pay. Incentive pay can drive behavior, but sometimes it drives the wrong behavior. Consider, for instance, the example of stock options for senior executives. Stock options apparently reward senior executives for getting the stock price up. But if you think about it, the stock price only has to be high for 1 day, the day that the executives exercise their options. So therefore, there are all kinds of incentives to lie, cheat, misrepresent company financial performance to temporarily get the stock price up. Instead of using incentives to drive behavior, because you often get the wrong behavior, you're really much better off using incentives to provide an opportunity to celebrate the organization's successes and to spread the rewards to those people who produce that great performance, the company's employees. Number 3. Third example of feedback effects is this idea that the number of hours worked equals work output. Now, this may have been true in the past, when work was mostly agricultural work or factory work. But it certainly isn't true today, when most of the work that's done, particularly in advanced industrialized economies, involves knowledge work, creative work, work that entails innovation. The problem with working long hours is that it has lots of bad consequences. Number 1, it leads to stress and all the problems that stress creates: cardiovascular disease, substance abuse, alcoholism. Number 2, working long hours causes people to lose concentration, to forget about what they're doing, and to make lots of mistakes. And that all costs money. And number 3, working long hours and not taking vacations causes people to have problems balancing work and family responsibilities and leads to turnover. So the idea that working long hours and not taking vacations leads to more productivity and more profit is simply a myth. So often in today's world, leaders in their organizations make decisions based upon management myths, on what they think will work, on what they see other companies doing. But in order to be successful in today's competitive environment, leaders need to think harder about the decisions they're making and make those decisions based upon the facts and the evidence. These ideas and more are in my book, and I certainly hope you enjoy reading it.